I do life with God, and that takes weight off your shoulders. And yes, I tried it my own way, and I don't think I had any success. I think it was the most miserable point. I don't know if miserable is the right word, but it was a very, very tough time in my life when I didn't have God. Versus now that I have God for the past couple of years, it's very, very different. Life is still hard, but it's not as hard because you do it with God.
Welcome back to another episode of High Value Discussions. In this episode, we're welcoming back a guest who's been here before, and he is ready to bless the show once again. My guest is a life insurance broker, agency owner, a financial educator, a husband, a mentor to many, and a soldier of God. He's built a thriving business grounded in purpose and faith. He and his team are helping families take control of their financial future while staying rooted in what really matters. In this discussion, we go beyond business. We talk legacy, leadership, mentorship, and the mindset required to truly walk in purpose, both financially and spiritually. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Alonso Torres.
I became so good at positive self-talk that the minute that it comes in a negative thought, I get rid of it pretty fast. That's this. By the way, that's a skill that you have to train, you have to develop, that you have to constantly practice, right, to get better at the silencing that voice that you have inside. But I'm sure I had maybe a thought like whether I could make it or not, independent. I didn't entertain it at all. But I think my biggest, or I think the thing for me partnering out, going independent, was what's going to happen with the relationships that I did build for 8 years. How are they going to respond once I decide to do something that I think and I feel it's better for me and my family? How are they going to respond with me, venturing out, I guess you could say, going independent, where those business partnerships no longer make a profit from me? So for me, that was my biggest thing. I don't think it was more like a self-doubt. It was more like, what's going to happen with those relationships that I do value for the past 8 years? How are they going to, past 8 years, right? How are they going to respond? That was my main thing, I guess.
Was there any of that though? Did that happen where people?
Of course.
Damn.
It was very disappointing. I'll tell you, the closest person that I did have, my closest friend, mentor, friend, I don't have anything bad to say about him. We still kind of stay in touch. But my main mentors, I guess you could say, that's where I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Bro, I couldn't even imagine how that could be so disappointing, because at the end of the day, bro, it's kind of weird when you want to start your own thing. You would think, as people who are such outliers and people who think outside the box, they want to support people who think the same way they do.
Of course.
And when it comes to the time to do so and they don't, almost shows like their true colors in a way.
That's exactly what it is. It shows their true colors, because if they really care about you the way that they say, then they would be excited for you. The minute that you think, hey, this is a better path for me, and this is a better career move for me, they would be excited for you, right? It's like if your kids tell you like, hey, or like, you would be excited for them, like, yes, let's go. Like, I understand, maybe I'm not going to make a profit off of you anymore. I understand, maybe business wise, but hey, you know what? Let's stay in touch. We were always solid. You were always solid. I was there for 8 years, so I made I made the company a lot of profits. I'm very, very sure of that, right? So this should have been a little genuine, or like, hey, let's stay in touch, but not from the main people, only from one individual out of everybody that I build relationships with for 8 years.
I'm so curious about this too, man. Since you gave so much time within that 8 years, does that make you kind of question the people around you sometimes? You thought that these people were like your brothers. These people were like your family. These people were your brothers in arms and in the business world. But and then when things go in the opposite direction, and then true colors are shown, does that kind of put you in worrisome in the future, or the next interactions, or the next collaborations, negotiations, etc.?
Well, there's always going to be a level of caution. Whether this happened or not, they just kind of revealed a little bit more of it. They just made you aware of it, but you have to have a level of discernment when you go into business partnerships, when you go into projects and things like that. You have to be able to discern if it's just a business or if it's, hey, do I invite you to my personal circle? There's a difference. Like, let's be in business. Like, something I love that I hear is from preachers is I owe you love, or you're entitled to my love, right? Because that's what the Bible teaches. But you're not entitled to the inner circle. You're not entitled to the privacy, right? To access. You have to set those expectations or those boundaries where that doesn't happen, where they're not calling you past 10 p.m. when you're with your wife or your kids, or 9 p.m., whatever that time is for your family, right? Where they're not, unless it's an emergency, then an emergency, we understand, right? Yeah. But if it's not an emergency, it's like, hey, man, you have 2 minutes. I just want to, that you have to set some type of boundaries where that doesn't happen. I read something that says where there's no boundaries, resentment grows. Right. So if you don't set the boundaries and they keep overstepping and you're like, hey, then you feel some type of way, but you never set the boundaries at the beginning. At the end of the day, it's our fault for not setting those boundaries. And as soon as they overstep those boundaries that you feel internally that you haven't expressed, that's when we should call it like, hey, I'll help you. I'll process it. Let's process it. But hey, for the future, let's do this other way. Let's do it from this time to this time, or whatever the situation might be.
Like I said, every time I've seen you, known you, it's always been doing this. So I feel like where the boundaries come and set, you're very cautious and you're very wise of where you put your time, your energy. It shows. It shows within the progress. And for me, as a fellow businessman, as a fellow brothers in arms in business, bro, I can see it and I know it's like eyes don't lie. Energy don't lie. And when you see it out somebody else, you're like, that guy's free over there. Respect to that man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You can what's it called? Point out, you can see when somebody's elevating, when somebody's on their game. And you should show some love, like, hey, keep it up, Yeah. I just texted one of my buddies from here in the Silicon Valley area. I'm like, hey, man, I just want you to remind you, you're a badass, you know? Like, I just want to remind you, you're doing good, you're elevating. So I think it's also important to show that kind of brotherly love. I think this helps complementing each other. So absolutely, man.
When we were texting, I remember after the podcast, you were going to the transition of exiting the company. We don't have to name the company or say people's names, etc. But you were letting me know that, bro, it's a tough transition. It's a tough exit.
Yeah.
What were probably some of the biggest challenges when trying to exit? And what were the big complications of it, bro?
Yeah, it was not a tough transition. It was a tough exit. You said it perfectly. It was not so much tough. It was just disappointing if it's a 10 out of 10, disappointment was a 10, right? For me, the people that I was in business with, we're going to go into it. We're not going to mention names, but the people that I was in business with, I let them know, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And it was late at night. And I'm like, just let's go our separate ways. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your teaching me about, et cetera. So I did it very properly. Like, maybe I should have done it in person, but at this point I could no longer wait. And I waited about 2 weeks and this person was traveling. My business partner was traveling. It's been 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm just going to call you at this point. So the next day, this individual starts calling the people that were going to transition out to independent. So my agency, this individual started calling my agency and try to discredit my name and say different things. And of course, it all got back to me, obviously, right? Truth always wins. And it was very disappointing because I didn't do that to my people. Like, I didn't gather my people. I didn't have a meeting like this and started telling like, hey, this person, no, not like, hey, good luck, like, successful person, respect, let's move on. So I didn't discredit or diminish or anything in anybody's names, right? All I did is like, this is what I'm gonna do, guys. You guys want to come over? What do you guys want to do? If you guys stay, you'll have success. If you go with me, you'll have success. What do you guys want to do? These are the pros and the cons. This is what's gonna change. What do you guys want to do? Every single one of them decided to go with me, regardless of the phone calls, regardless of anything. They said, let's go. We know you. We've been working with you for X amount of time. We know what kind of person you are. Let's go. Being a genuine person, you don't have to convince somebody that you're a genuine person. Your actions speak louder. That's the reality. You can say, hey, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. But if your actions don't follow through, if they don't catch up to your words, people will eventually catch up to who you truly are. So for me, I didn't have to convince people of who I was because the way that I treated them.
Because that's very important, bro. So for somebody to have their own entity, to have their own thing attached to their name, something that they created with their bare hands, it's not just being a business owner. It's not just being a CEO. It's being a leader too, man. And that's
Absolutely.
very important. And that's a skill that a lot of people just ignore.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm great at tracking my finances. Oh, I'm great at negotiating. Oh, I'm great at this. I'm great at that. It's like, are you a great leader though?
Yeah.
Like, can you actually lead people? Like, that's the number one skill. When people
Absolutely.
are looking at a stock or a company or so on and so forth, you're not just looking at the financials. You're looking at the person who's running the company. Who's
Yeah.
the CEO? Who is the man who is saying the orders?
Yeah.
You got to look at his track record. Leadership is all about trust.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they took that ability to be able like, no, Alonso, we're going with you, brother. We're with you because we stand with you. We know your principles. We know your attributes. We're sticking with you because we thrive with you. That, you said we don't get complimented a lot.
Yeah.
That is a big compliment.
Thank
and I hope you recognize that, brother, because we're so easy to kind of like let it just brush
Yeah,
off.
for
But
sure.
bro, let that sink in, man. Let
Yeah.
that sink in. Because from afar, just that one little story that you told me, bro,
Yeah.
leadership. I mean, even with you, I can tell that skill is constantly being sharpened up.
You have to, man. That's what I was thinking as you were saying that. I'm like, I guess I could say I'm okay with it, leadership, but I'm pursuing better. I never want to arrive at the excellence of leadership. Like, not because I don't want to become excellent, because I don't want to ever be done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, hey, I grown to my max. I don't know if I'll ever reach that, I don't know if God designed us that way to reach our max potential. I don't think that's going to happen, right? So I seen some of the great leaders, some of the great speakers that I look up to, and I still see them constantly develop and constantly get better and constantly, talk about books and all these things that they're doing. And not only speaking about it, but you can see that they're doing it, because when they show up to events or when they show up to certain things, they sound different, they look different, they think different. So their message improves and gets better. Somebody can say, hey, I'm improving, hey, I'm personally self-developing, but if the weight that they speak is still the same 6 months from now, 3 months from now, then
Something's off.
Something's off, exactly. So, I want to say that I want to continue to get better, sharpen that axe, and I'll take the compliment. Thank you.
The people around you is very, very important,
Absolutely.
especially the people involved in your team.
Yeah, 100%.
What were the qualities of individuals that you were looking for to be under your umbrella?
Being under my umbrella, I'll take anybody. As long as they're moral, they have some ethics, right? They don't want to do all the bad things. Like, if you're doing that, then I don't want part of it, right? I don't want you to influence the agency. But as long as you have morals, ethics, I'll give you a shot. Why? Because when somebody gave me a shot when I was 19, and was I the best example? Was I the best recruit? I guess you could say. No, I was far from it. I was far from who I am today. And the people that knew me back then can tell you that. They can confirm it. Like, hey, that's a whole completely different Alonso, right? So I'll give it a shot. I'll give a shot to everybody, because we'll never know who they can actually be if they get inspired. I got inspired. I went to events. I got inspired. And they poured belief into me. Believe that maybe I had those wow thoughts like, hey, I can become like that. But when somebody pours belief into you, you're like, oh, you start to even believe it at a different level, right? They see somebody sees something in me. That's okay, maybe I'm on the right path, right? So I'll give a shot to everybody. Now, who I keep in my inner circle, that's very different. Number one, they have to have God. They have to believe in God. They have to have a good relationship with God, or want to improve the relationship with God. Because at the end of the day, I mean, my relationship with God wasn't always perfect, especially in my teen years. Like we mentioned, it wasn't our number one priority at some point. But if you want you want to pursue it, you want to get better, you want God in your life, and I value that. And with that, I'll probably allow you some access to my inner circle, right? But yes, that would be the number one quality for the inner circle and for the team. I'll just give it a shot to everybody that has morals and ethics, as long as they don't lie, steal, cheat. I don't like lying, man. I don't like lying. I don't like people that cheat. I can't relate.
I think we're just too old for that.
We are too.
And especially if you're bringing somebody, say, in close to age group, and they're doing that, that's kind of tough. It's like, I get it. If you're doing it as a teenager or you're middle school, but we're grown adults.
Yep.
And this is business.
You'll lose your license. They'll take your license away. It won't look good. You can get sued, obviously, right? So I don't really play with that. Even in my personal life, like people, if I notice that, like, hey, we want to build a relationship, like, hey, I want to make you my friend. The way I qualify you is I'll pay attention if you lie, if you say things and you don't actually do them, I don't know if I said it last time. Can I cash in the check? Can I cash in your word? If not, then we don't have anything in common, as far as that. Yeah. And I can't allow you in my personal circle until you get better at that.
I also pay attention to the people and how they treat their people. That's what I like to do.
That's good.
If I'm, say, in close quarters with somebody, I genuinely want to see how they treat their significant other. I want to see how they treat their friends. I want to see how they treat their family, so on and so forth. Because if I see somebody treating their wife like garbage, I'm like, bro, that's the love of your life. That's the future mother of your children. Yes. And I was like, and you're gonna treat her like that? How are you gonna treat me down the road when things get tough? I was like, I'm not down with it. So I really pay attention to that. Yeah. And if I see attributes, principles that I do not tolerate, no. Absolutely. I'm 30 years old, brother. Yeah. I don't have time to waste time.
Absolutely. I mean, we do have time. People would disagree. Like right now, when I said, we're too old, people probably thinking, no, they're not. But we value time. We can make more money, but we cannot make more time, right? That's a famous saying, and it's very, very true. But yes, that is so important that you said the way that we treat our wife, or our significant other, speaks very loudly.
So, bro, like, how you were saying, oh, Daniel, I got a 6 p.m. meeting with my team because you are educating. What are probably the biggest things that you prioritize and things that you want to touch on, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly? What are the things that you want your team to really stick on their forehead and walk with on a day-to-day basis?
That's good. Number one, do right to the client. Do right to the client. Always do what's best for the client. Treat them as if they're your family. That's the reality. And obviously, the agents have to be well-rounded on the services, on the products that they're going to offer. Because if not, then they're doing a misservice to that client, right? So for me, number one is always treat that person or do the best thing for that person. Don't do what's best for your pocket. And treat them like family, because if you treat them like family, they'll, of course, you'll build that relationship. Like for me, there's people that say, I heard this trainer, and they said, your clients are not your friends. I'm like, my clients are. Shoot, my clients call me, they text me, like, I want that relationship. Yeah. I want them to be like, hey, that's my life insurance broker, or my life insurance agent. Hey, come here. You want some tacos? You want some tamales? Yes. What do you want? And when I go to people's houses and I help them get insured, they offer me food. They invite me food. Hey, you want to come to the quinceañera? You want to come to the carne asada? So based on the way that you treat them, I don't want it to just be transactional. It's pretty boring.
It's nasty.
It is nasty.
To me, it's nasty. Yeah, like when I've being in these rooms sometimes, and you're connecting with these people, speaking with these people, and it's like, man, it's very disappointing. Mm-hmm. It all just feels like a transaction. I'm like, man, I don't want to be here, man. Regardless of, like, say, your status or your money or so on and so forth, it's like, it is not worth it for me. Yeah. Again, principles.
Recently, the past week, I was seeking some services, and I was getting a bunch of calls. a bunch of calls from people that obviously from the services, right?
Yeah.
And they were all transactional until the last one. The last one actually took the time. They walked me through everything, boom, 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 boom. And we spent about an hour just talking. And I'm like, I like this person. I'm going to do business with this person, right? Because the other ones were just like, hey, here, 2-3 minutes, boom, boom. Okay, what's next? You want to sign up? I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, you didn't even build a relationship, nothing.
Barely know my name.
Barely know my name, you know. So, yeah, I would say treat them like family. Number two or number one, either not in order. Always do right. Treat them like family. Know your product so you can actually do well for them, right? So those are the three things that I would say I want all my agents to be like, hey, let's go door knock. We don't door knock, but let's go door knock. We can help everybody, treat them right, and we'll be successful at it.
Have you, since you have gone independent, has the pressure elevated?
For sure, 100%. The pressure of pressure, yes. Also responsibility, yes. Stress, yes. Right. All the things, the positive things, right? Because there's good stress.
Talk about that.
Yeah,
man. You know why? Because, bro, I talked about that all the time. There is stress where you're not doing anything with your life, and there's stress when you're getting things done.
Yes. And it's a good type of stress. There's two types of stress. I can't make the rent money. I can't pay the bills. I can't feed my family. That's bad stress.
Yeah.
There's good type of stress. We got a lot of work. We got to put better systems. We have a lot of clients, etc. That's good stress. We have so many agents. What do? We need this. We need that. Okay, boom, boom. That's good stress. So there's people in my family. They're like, oh, don't get too stressed. The good stress is not good. I'm like, it's actually good. I feel alive. I had the bad stress as well, where I didn't know what I was going to eat tomorrow. I didn't know what I was going to eat that day. I had that kind of stress. And let me tell you, this is good type of stress. And by the way, you fast forward to when we're 80, what do you rather, retire or have good stress of building something? What's going to keep you alive? Just laying down, just relaxing, just all the ways at the beach. Do you think that's going to keep you young, or the good stress of building something, becoming something, making an impact, right? So for those people that don't believe stress is good, I believe it's good, right? And I think there's some studies, if you look into it, I think there's actually proven studies that say there's good type of stress. Just look into it. Maybe I could be wrong, but for me, I believe it's good. It's going to do me well.
I'm stressed. I'm stressed every day.
There you go. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people there, right? Like, if you believe stress is not good, then maybe it's not going to do you good. Maybe you'll get a heart attack. But for me, a good stress is going to make me live a long life, right? Yes. So it's also the things that we feed our belief system.
That pain and all that suffering, bro, it accumulates into such great things. And guess what? Even when you are in shape, because you are in shape, and guess what? The gym is still hard.
Oh, yeah.
Gym is still hard for me too.
Yeah, for sure.
Business, you're in business. You're a very successful businessman. Guess what? Business is still hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People think they're like, oh, once I get that, everything's going to be fine. I got the six pack, I'm fine. No.
There's days that you probably don't feel like working out. There's days that you're like, let me just do a little bit, right? It's a mental battle on a daily basis, and mental battle with your body. The last rep, the next workout, should I cut the workout short? Should I do that one? No. So yeah, it is hard.
Something I want to also pick your brain about too, brother. Like, off air, we were talking about how God was always in our life, but it was never priority number one. I've started to recognize something in myself. Like, I've been doing things my way for so long, but then when you start doing things God's way, bro, the blessings have 20x.
That's so good.
Have you noticed that within yourself too?
Yeah, for sure, man. And, a lot of people think that blessings just equals money, but blessing is so much more than that. It blesses you in your personal life. It blesses you with your mental, your thoughts. It blesses you with your relationships. It blesses you with more people that come into it blesses you in so many different ways. In your health, the blessing is not just material stuff, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, you're not blessed because you don't have no, but look at their personal life, right? As well. That's very important. But yeah, there was a time where when I was a kid, I grew up, my mom, she would go to church, different churches, right? And I grew up with that. Well, I was a kid. I had no clue. I didn't pay attention to it. I just did what they told me, right? In my teens, when my mom passed away, that was where it got rough. Because I'm like, if there was a God, how could this happen to me? How could this happen to my mom? She was a good person. What about all the bad people, right? So in my teen years, it was a very struggle. I guess you could say some people call it depression. So I was going through that, battling that. And I remember a friend invited me to a church, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go. But I decided to go. That was like 2018, I think. And it was my gym buddy, right? I would go to the gym with him. He would train me. He would teach me. Anyways, so ended up going to church. I'm like, there's something here. I learned something. I feel something. I don't know what it is. I feel some type of way. I like it. Let me come back next Sunday. And I don't know how many years later, I'm still going, right? But it definitely, when you face difficulty, you can tell the difference. Because now you have God. When I used to face difficulty, man, I was stressed. That was a bad stress. I'm like, man, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? How am I going to talk to this person? How am I going to overcome it? Now I'm like, okay, we'll be fine. God, what do we do, right? Like, walk me through this, be with me through this conversation, et cetera, et cetera. So now I do I do life with God. And that takes weight off your shoulders. And yes, I tried it my own way, and I don't think I had any success. I think it was the most miserable point. I don't know if miserable is the right word, but it was a very, very tough time in my life when I didn't have God versus now that I have God for the past couple of years. It's very, very different. Life is still hard, but it's not as hard because you do it with God. Now you have some type of guidance, right? Now you have some type of backup. Well, I said some type of backup, but it's actually all the backup, right? It's like we're like, I'll fall, you catch me, God, and He'll catch you, right? So it's a lot better, man. Life is so good, and I mean, I see you at church all the time, so it's so exciting when I see people, at church that maybe ask me like about it, and I see them, I'm like, yes, God is so good.
Surrendering is probably the best thing you could possibly do, man. It's like the best decision I ever made was just like give myself. I used to think it was like not masculine.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
so stupid. I used to think like
me too.
When I used to look at grown men like raise their hands and jump up and down, I was like, such a bad thing to say.
Yeah.
But and then now, man, seeing me do it and feeling it, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly why they were doing this.
Yes.
So
amen.
It's so weird being so young, arrogant, stupid.
Oh, yeah.
We
all go through it. It's part of life, part of that chapter of young men's life, right, where we don't think we need anybody. I think it for all men, and I know this because I have other conversations with people that I try to invite, or I do invite, and they come and they tell me like, I don't feel masculine. I don't feel to cry. Like I don't want other people to look at me. And I have the same thought, but it's about you in that relationship. Nobody's paying attention to you at church. Everybody's having their own moment with God. Of course, you got to go to the right churches where people are not paying attention to you, right? They're trying to judge you, right? But if you can find the right church where people are actually not there to judge, but they're there to, praise the Lord and their connection, strengthen their connection. And there's going to be a bad in every church, like one or two individuals, or et cetera. Don't focus on that. Focus on God. Focus on learning. Focus on the message. Focus on the spirit.
It's kind of funny, bro, how we were so young. We used to think that being on our knees and praying for God used to be not masculine, but yet surrendering to God is probably the most, if not the most masculine thing ever.
That is
right.
That is quite a statement right there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The most masculine thing, because if you can surrender to God, get on your knees and tell, hey, decrease yourself so God can increase. Decrease yourself, decrease your ego, decrease your pride so God can increase in your life. Right? That is the most manly thing. And a woman will follow you when you can follow God. Right? So, by the way, my relationship, not to say that it was bad or anything, but it just improved. Like, we don't have arguments with, like, of course, for little things, but for fun, we do it.
Close the drawer. When
we do that just for fun. Like, it's funny, but I mean, I don't know if because I'm Mexican, I'm Latino, we're both Mexicans, right? We like that. It's fun. And, but but it's not nothing major.
So right now, since you are independent and since you have created this whole agency with yourself, bro, what are probably some of the things that you recognize and the skills that you enhanced that maybe you didn't have at the past company?
That I didn't have, or maybe they were weak, they were not as strong, right? Some skills you said. Um, that's a good one. I would say definitely leadership, man. Definitely leadership, because you can when you have other business partners that could maybe potentially help you with leadership, um, where you can kind of fall back on them. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining myself right.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, let's say we're business partners, right? Hey, can you go talk to my guy, please? You know, like I'm struggling with this. Can you go talk to him? There's not much of that now.
Yeah.
So now I have to improve the way, know how to communicate properly with each individual, know how to drive him individually as well.
Do you remember that moment of when you wanted to branch out? Do you remember that specific moment that
Yeah.
hit you?
It was, I mean, I wanted to branch out about 4 years back, 2020. I wanted to branch out, but I was humble enough to know that it wasn't the right time, right? Something in me just told me it's not the right time. So, and I'm grateful that I didn't go independent sooner because of the skills and the things that I developed just the past 3-4 years. Those skills, everything happens for a reason, right? God has it planned out for you. And for me, I'm so glad, because if I would have done that, I wouldn't end up in Silicon Valley. Number one, I wouldn't have gone to church, and I wouldn't have strengthened my faith to the level that I have now, and made the impact that I have now with the people around me, because I have made a massive impact with the people around me. And it all started because I moved over here, found that church, number one, right? Because now I can feed myself at a different level. Because when you're trying to pour to people with an empty cup, then what are you pouring? But if you're feeding yourself, not only just with the material stuff or the worldly stuff, but also spiritually, then you can pour out so much more and more efficient, better quality, I guess you could say, right?
For sure, bro.
So for me, I would say, going back to your question, I would say leadership, for sure. When you see a great speaker, that's awesome, right? But can they actually lead well? And how can you lead well? Well, there's different factors, but number one, whatever you're telling your people to do, are you doing it? If you're talking about being a good person, etc., all those morals and ethics, are you about that? Right? So it sucks to see that, but it does happen. It just speaks more on them. Not the person that left, it speaks more on them. Right? So nothing we can do but pray for them.
Do you get excited when you go to these conferences and you see these speakers speaking on the stage? And do you visualize yourself doing that as well?
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's one of my goals. Not to just be a speaker, right? But why am I being a speaker, right? So I don't want just recognition of like, hey, get recognized and go speak. No, why am I speaking? I also want to train out, why am I speaking, right? So, yeah, absolutely. Have I spoken on stages? I have. It's fun. When you see thousands of people, it can be a little nerve wracking, right? I think I handle that well, especially the last time that I was on stage. That was not that bad. I just prayed. All I did, I prayed. I'm like, hey, God, tell me what to say and guide me. And it wasn't that bad. And once I looked around, I stopped being nervous and just took control.
When you're, since you are in the life insurance business, are you guys looking at other people in your business as well and studying your competition?
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to. Everybody does. You know, they study you, that you study them. You have to, man. And it sucks. I'll tell you this. Studying is good, but you have to implement better systems. You have to implement better things that can allow your people to actually compete. Where I was previously at, I'm not sure if they're doing that. And that's one of the reasons that I decided to also go independent, because I didn't see that there was going to be a change. I didn't see those improvements. I didn't see our top people were not able to compete with independent agents. I'm like, if our top people that have been here for 20, 30 years, 20 years, let's say, and these guys are being here for 6, 7 years and they're running laps around you, then what is that? What does the next 5 to 10 years look like for me? So the systems, the platform, I guess, is also important to implement. So one second thing I told you, you said, what is your skills that you had to improve on? I don't know if building systems or putting systems into place and knowing how to guide people through the systems it's a skill. I think it is, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely put systems in place where it can give success to our new people as well. So I had to get better at that for sure. If we're talking about life insurance, leaving that kind of wealth, because life insurance is some type of level of wealth, right? I had clients, Latinos are really stubborn, right? They're like, no, just throw me in the river, man. Just some wild things that Mexicans or Latinos be saying, man. And you have to have the patience and the skills to be able to get them protected, because if you don't get that person protected, then the family suffers. And so if you don't get that person protected, let's say the father, then you're not doing your job well. You're doing a misservice to the wife, to the kids, because you didn't prepare enough or done it enough times because you're too scared, that you didn't develop that skill to be able to overcome it. One time I went to an appointment. The guy was sitting there in the couch. I was on the kitchen table. I was with the wife, and he was just listening. And, you know, I made him laugh. I'm like, hey, man, just come sit down, you know, super relaxed. He came, sit down. At the end of the appointment, he got life insurance, and he was the guy that didn't want no life insurance, right? So you have to be able to do that, to help him process it, plan out, think ahead, paint the picture for them, right? And remind them about their family. So that was one of the key things. I reminded them, like, so where did you meet your wife? Oh, we met back in Mexico. We were this age. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You brought her all the way to America. You took her away from the family, all the way to America, where you guys don't have family. And if you pass away, you did all that to where if something happens to you, you're not gonna leave. You're not gonna take care of her. And he's like, you know what? Give me that thing. So I'm like, wait, you have to remind them as well. Like, hey, you did all this. You promised her a successful life, a good life. You gotta live up to it, man. Life insurance is not necessarily sold. Like you have to educate them well for the plan to get in place, because it's not a tangible product. I cannot give you a life insurance as we're speaking. Like, there's nothing to give you right now. Does that make sense? Like, it's like when you buy a car, like, you can drive it. Yes, I can give you a piece of paper, but it's not something you can automatically have fun with. Like a phone, you can open it, start logging in, start downloading things. It's not as exciting. So you have to develop that skill where you explain it well, you educate them right, paint the picture, and seal the deal, I guess you could say.
Driving is the most dangerous thing that I do on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yeah.
So
especially here.
Exactly, bro. So if, like, say tomorrow, if I, God forbid, I get into an accident, it's like there's something being left behind to my family, and that's very comforting for me. Money solves problems.
Yeah.
You know, use it as a shield, because life has so many adversities to give, and you need to be prepared. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis to make sure you're the person to take care of everybody?
100%.
Like, what does Peterson say? Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Are you ready to be the most responsible man at your father's funeral?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's very powerful that you said that. Are you prepared to be the tough man, or like the toughest one, right? Yeah. The one that holds people together. That happens with life insurance, man. If you can protect yourself, the family won't have to struggle. Everything will be kind of okay. Maybe not emotionally, right? Because you're not there, but financially, it's a shield, like you said. It's the last shield that you can leave. It's the last shield. The last line of defense, right? Because if you're already struggling financially, your family's struggling, and you're like, I cannot afford life insurance. Well, if something happens to you, they cannot afford you dying. They cannot afford you getting sick. They cannot afford that. If you guys are already, you know, struggling, and there's that challenge financially month to month, Imagine what would happen when you're taken out. So leaving that last line of shield, well, at least they can live okay financially. Okay, they can pay some bills, not become millionaires overnight. $1 million, what's $1 million here in Silicon Valley? Nothing. Right? That just pays off the mortgage, right? That just gets you into an average home in America.
Yeah.
But here in Silicon Valley, it's $1 million, $1 million plus. So that last line of defense is life insurance, man. And it's a beautiful thing when you can leave that for your family. What kind of, and I think I mentioned at the last podcast, what kind of thought, what kind of memory do you want it to be your last memory, your family's last memory of you, right? The one that they had to struggle financially to bury you, or the one that they had everything taken care of because they said, you know what, my dad and my mom, even after they were gone, they still took care of us. They still took care of us, even after they were not here in this earth. What kind of a mom, what kind of dad is that? That's awesome. And by the way, that gets also passed down. You left the check to your kids. Now your kids, when they grow older, if they're already older, they'll be like, I should get life insurance. Because guess what? When I talk to a lot of people, they are looking for life insurance is because they had an experience where somebody left them or somebody didn't leave them anything. So now your kids get to pass it down to your grandkids. So, and it keeps going. And that's generational wealth right there.
I take great pride, bro, in saying taking care of the family. Like I was with Tracy this weekend with my family, my cousins, etc.
Seen that.
And they don't like when I say take care of everything, like meaning pay for dinner, do this, do that, and like we're fighting over the checks, so on and so forth. But it's like, guys, my role here is to make sure you guys are well taken care of.
That's awesome.
Even the day that I do leave, you're still going to be taken care of. That's my objective here.
Yeah,
Well,
it's beautiful, man. Not everybody feels that way, right? But it's a beautiful thing. Not everybody's like us, right? But it's a beautiful thing. If I can mention, I just started a clothing brand, right, for my agency. But one of the things that I haven't announced it yet, but one of the things that I've been telling people is, for the first 2 years, everything that we generate from the clothing brand, I'm going in and giving it back to people in Mexico. We're going to go buy groceries and things like that. So we're going to accumulate and go do that. But people are like, oh, I thought you're making money off of it. I'm like, no, like money's great.
Yes.
I'm already making money. I don't need this one. So whatever I generate, let's give it out, man. And so it's a good feeling when you give not only to your church, but to the homeless, to people. That's why I do my best to remind myself to carry cash because I want to give money away. And it says on the Bible, take care of orphans and widows, right? So not only give to church, but also take care of your community. Mm-hmm. So I feel some type of way. I remember when a pastor said, if there's something that makes you feel some type of way, then that's your calling. And when he said that, like a tear came down. I'm like, that's why I feel that type of way when I see videos of other people on TikTok giving money away to the community, the Hispanic community, or just the community overall. I feel some type of way. I start a tear or two, you know. I don't cry. No, just a tear or two. No, I cry when I watch these things, right? And I never understood it why until the pastor said it. That's your calling. That you're called to do that. Maybe for you, you feel some type of way when you see homeless, and you want to help them. That's your calling. Or other struggles or other things, right? So anyways, just wanted to announce that.
That's why, bro, you lived a very blessed life, man, because you're always giving. And your business as well, your company, bro, it's service-based.
Yeah.
You're assisting people.
There's that pride for when you take care of things for the family. I saw it right now when you spoke up about your family. There was your eyes lit up. You're like, yes, I felt that pride, man.
Yeah, man.
I felt that, what is it called? Testosterone right there. That's awesome. Man.
But it's like that masculine
yes.
feeling that we get, you know what I mean? Because like when you're a man, bro, it's like, especially because like I'm one of the oldest men in the family.
I see.
So when they say like I always tell them this. I was like, you know how when you were a kid and you didn't have any money, you had your dad take care of everything for you, right? Okay, well, I'm the oldest here. That's my job.
Yeah.
That's my job to take care of the table, you know? Like, don't worry about anything. I was like, as long as I'm around, I got you guys.
That's awesome.
That's my job.
One thing that to add to exactly that, just to add a little bit, when somebody wants to do something, they pay for the bill, a dinner, give you a gift. Don't block their blessing. there's a feeling when you're doing it, a good, genuine feeling. And if people tell you, no, let me sell you, no, 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 don't do it. They want to block that feeling, not consciously, but unconsciously. So just let them do it. If they're offering, let them bless you. Let them bless you. And it feels good for that person that's doing it.
Well, hey, my man. So I have
Yes.
a couple Q&As
Yeah.
because some people were actually sending us messages.
Okay.
So let me see here.
Let's go for it.
These are kind of rapid fire.
Let's
All
just
right.
go at it.
All right, my brother. Okay, so here's the first one, brother. How has your faith impacted your relationships inside and outside of business?
Oh, that's good. We talked about it, right? It just improves it. It definitely improves it. You attract people who are like you. You attract people at your frequency, and it's better when you attract people who are like you, faith driven, and you can sense that genuine care, relationship. It just you live a more meaningful life, or a richer life. Enrich, I don't know, it enriches your life. There's relationships that come into your life, or you come into people's life and you enrich their life because they didn't have that quality of people before. And same thing when people come into your life. If they're quality people, it enriches your life. So my personal relationship, like I mentioned with my wife, improved it tremendously. We prayed together. I cry in front of her at church. I don't know. I never look to see if she's crying. But one of the things that I do want to mention when I cry at church, I cry because I become so thankful to God. I'm so in His presence that I'm like, God, thank you for everything, from bringing me from here to here, through all this, through the up, through the valleys, through everything. Thank you, God. And that's when I get teary. I don't get teary because I'm sad. No,
Yeah.
I get the joy of God. And that's when I cry. That's when I'm like,
Amen,
thank
brother.
you, Lord. Thank you,
Amen,
Lord.
brother.
You know, so
Amen.
just want to add, when you see people cry, maybe it's not just because they're sad or they're struggling. No, at church, right? Maybe you're seeing them also cry because they're just thankful. They have that joy.
What would you say to your 18-year-old self?
I think you posted a video on Instagram of the last one. I would tell them the same thing that you said last time. It's expect to get punched. It's not gonna be that easy. It's come. Life is gonna get better. Just stick with it. Become more disciplined, I would say. Get rid of all the bad distractions faster, because I did get rid of bad friends. We talked about bad friends. Not bad friends, just people that are not aligning with what you want. Lowering the microphone of the people, the bad voices, or the doubtful voices, even from family, friends.
I love that term, lowering
Right?
the microphone.
Lowering their microphone faster. I would have done it faster because at the beginning I would let them speak. I would let them share your thoughts, but it didn't serve me. For what? Right? So my mind is not a freeway where you can just dump your negative thoughts or your limiting beliefs. So I should have definitely done it sooner, stayed more disciplined, increased my discipline. I think those are the only two. Just, and last one is, I think get rid of people faster that are not aligned with where you want to go. Just get rid of them faster. And it doesn't mean like in a bad way, not in a respectful way. Hey man, great relationship we had, but this is where I'm going. If you want to come, let's do it. But if not, then we got to go our separate ways.
How has faith influenced your career decisions and path in the financial services?
That's really good as well. Like I mentioned, I pray before big decisions. I praise God before big decisions. I ask God to guide me to take the wheel and become a lot less stressed while doing those decisions, or as I'm processing those decisions. I'm like, hey, I got God on my side. What could we lose? Right? So it has impacted me a lot more because it made me stronger, made me wiser. And one of the things I want to say is, as well, it made me care about what people say or think a lot less. Because if we're called to be different by God, then that's, they hated Jesus. How are they not going to hate his people? So not to say that I'm the perfect follower or anything like that. But if they hated Jesus, man, the most perfect man in the world, people are gonna have a lot to say about you, a lot to disagree with us.
That's a hard muscle to train, brother. But like, man, that gets sharpened every single day.
Oh yeah,
You know,
for sure,
every day,
for
bro.
sure. So God helped me in a big way, tremendous with that.
Have you faced challenges balancing your faith with the demands of the financial services, and how did you navigate them?
And not necessarily financial services, right? Not the business, but life overall is just finding the time, making the time, not finding it, because I mean, you'd be pretty crazy to be looking around for time, right? Like, what are you looking for over there in the corner? I'm looking for time. And that's pretty weird. They'll take you away, right? But making the time. So for me, it's difficult. Like, if I don't wake up extremely early, 5:30, 5 in the morning. That's not, maybe for some people are like, hey, regular time. But if you're not, I'm not waking up around that time, then the day runs you. You're getting the calls already at 8 a.m. Back to back calls, text message. Hey, I want attention. I want attention. Not because they want attention, but hey, it requires your attention. Hey, I have this question. Hey, I have this question. Hey, so you have to set apart time. For me, it works perfectly in the morning or at night, late at night. But it's challenging. It's never perfect. Life is, you're not going to have a day where it's all perfect. Maybe so, maybe one, but it's really rare, man, where all things go perfect the right way.
What tips would you give to financial professionals considering making the similar moves you have?
Do it faster. Just do it faster. Just do it faster, man. Sometimes we let our mentors or the people around us that are so used to doing things a certain way, a certain system for so long that they pour their beliefs into us, right? And it's good, but you have to be wise enough to be able to make your own decisions. As a man, you're required to make your own mind, your own decisions, right?
Because it's your life.
It's your life. So I would say make the decision sooner, become wise enough, or discernment, listen to more information, watch more information, and do the decision faster, man. There's so much money. I mean, for all my previous people, they're leaving so much money on the table. It's, I spoke with the guy earlier or like a couple of days ago, and I'm like, hey, you should use this tool. And they're like, oh, that's a great tool, but I'm sold out to this mindset. I'm like, I'm sold out to that mindset too, but I'm using this tool.
Yes.
It's like AI, like big companies. What's gonna happen to big companies if they don't integrate AI? What happened to big companies that didn't integrate internet? Gone, right? Bankrupt. That's gonna happen the same thing to you if you don't integrate the tools that are available in the marketplace. That's why people that are younger than you and less qualified than you, they're running laps around you. Wake up. Hey man, how you doing? 5 years later, I'm still sharpening my skills, man. No, all right, there's something wrong.
You got to do a deep calculation on that, my man.
Yes.
Really dissect that.
Yes. Hey, I'm sold out to this mindset. Okay, how's that been working out for you for the past 10 years, man? You haven't moved an inch.
It's a hard conversation to have, but man, you got to have it.
Yes, and as long as there's a profit being made from that person you're seeking advice, they're going to give you advice, whether you like it or not, that will benefit their profit, not affect their profit. So when you're seeking advice, don't just seek it from the people that are making money, profit off of you. Seek it from outside sources that can see an outside view.
2 more questions for you, my brother, and then we are done. So let's back to normal again, like just like last time. If this was your podcast, my man, and if you curious about something about me and then a question that you had for me, what would it be, my brother?
I have it. It came instantly. You consider going to church. You had considered going to church, and you probably seen it on social media multiple times before you made the decision to go to church. Yeah. What would be your advice to somebody that was in your shoes, outside, just looking at the stories, curious, not 100% sure, some doubts? We all have doubts. What would be your advice to somebody that's looking to strengthen their relationship? Not necessarily church, but strengthen their relationships with Jesus. What would you say?
Just do it. That's the thing that I did. I have always had that mindset of just doing things that were on my mind. And what bothered me, just like how you were saying, I wish I did it faster. You know,
For
that
sure.
was my, I don't like to say my regret, because I don't like to say I
Right.
regret anything, but I wish I did it faster, because I kept having that in the back of my head. Just go, just do it. You know you want to. Why aren't you?
Yeah.
And it's funny because the day that I did, I don't want to leave.
Oh,
I wish it was every day.
yes.
You know, I wish I could go
100%.
every day, you know, not
1,000%.
Sundays. I want to go every day.
Yeah.
Everything that I do is for God, man. Everything that I do. It's priority number one. Because if that's not priority number one, everything else crumbles.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else shatters. And I've noticed that
Yeah.
too. And it wasn't priority number one. I was like, I used to think things were in order. Nah, they're not. They're not. And that's when the awakening happens. That's when
Amen.
the awakening happens, when you realize that. But it's funny how we always say, like, don't break our word. Don't break God's word.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
that's a different kind of yes.
Yeah. So, brother, like, if you're having those thoughts of going to church, man, you're finding that community, you find those beautiful people, and you're there to praise the Lord and Savior, man, do it. Do it, because you will not regret it. It's the
Amen.
best thing that I ever did, man, was surrender.
God grabs the most unqualified people, right? To show the qualified people how great God can be.
Bro, my last question
Yes.
for you, my brother, all right? What has life taught you about timing, faith, and patience?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, that's those three. I'm slow. So timing. What has God taught me about timing? Like timing in business, or like time overall?
Everything. Because like you said, the exit,
Yeah.
that wasn't your timing. That was
Yeah.
his timing. Like, oh,
Yes.
you're not ready yet.
Yes.
Give it those couple of years, and then it'll
Absolutely.
be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, if we want to talk into the spiritual level, I mean, we can be, I don't know, looking for gold, but if it's not God's timing, you ain't gonna find the gold yet. You know, you gotta go through the things that will prepare you to be able to handle the gold, right? Because if not, then it'll destroy you.
Yes.
And we've seen that. We've seen people find the gold and get destroyed, right? So, I mean, have patience. I mean, going back, have patience with God and the timing, right? Have patience, man.
See how they correlate together?
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's perfect. man.
Absolutely. Have patience for God's timing. And what was the last one?
It was timing, faith, and patience. So you pretty much
Timing,
connected all
faith.
together.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I
all
mean? Because
connected.
it's all
It's all connected.
one. It's all one. Even though they're all different words, but they all connect somehow.
You gotta have faith when you're having patience for God's timing. Get out of here. It's over. That's a good one, right? Wow. Yeah. God is good, man.
Are there any closing statements you'd like to give for the podcast, my brother?
Any closing statements? I would just say, stop wasting time. Do the things that you want to do. You know, we're here in borrowed time. Go after those goals, after those dreams. Stop procrastinating. Like, time flies. Just remember how 2025 just got started like a day ago. And look at, we're already in July, right?
Crazy,
About to go
right?
to. So time flies. Make the decision. Go after it. Go for your dreams. Go for your goals. Stop procrastinating. Get on that diet. Start that business. Just, like you said, just do it.
It is a blessing to see you as always, my brother. It's a blessing to see you consistently grow. It's a blessing for you to be continuously blessing other people, my man. God bless you, my brother, and I cannot wait to see you again, my man.
Awesome.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. If you got a lot of value out of this, please do me a favor and support our channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Make sure to hit that follow button on Spotify to stay updated with our latest episodes. And if you are listening on Apple Podcast, I would greatly appreciate it if you would leave a 5-star rating, followed by with a review. Again, thank you all for the support. Stay loving, stay hungry, and stay excellent.